Hi everybody, it's Diane here with her song Smash Book, which you haven't seen in a long time, and I haven't seen in a long time, because I haven't worked in it in a long time. So what I do with this is make collages about songs I like, kind of illustrating the song or how I like the song, interpret the song, etc. Okay, the song we're doing is Long Long Time by Linda Ronstadt from 1970, which if you've never heard it, go listen. It's like perfect. If there's a word beyond perfect, I might say that. Okay, it's about love that, you know, the other party isn't interested in you. Okay. Gee, Diane, what a happy topic. I know. But that's what it is. Okay, we're going to do that song. Okay. Well, it made me think of anybody. You know who that is. That's Charlie Chaplin. You don't know who that is, I'm sure. A woman called Hetty, Hetty Kelly. He met her when he was very young, working the vaudeville circuit, whatever they call it, in England. And it depends on what you read. They dated for a while, then he left for America, so they went their separate ways. They never really dated. He liked her. They corresponded a little bit. She wasn't interested. I don't know the whole story, only they do, obviously. Okay. There's also a theory that he sort of, remembered her his whole life. That was the reason for his failed marriages, stuff like that. Okay. Well, then it crossed my mind. He also was a composer. He composed a song in 1916 called There's Always One You Can't Forget. We would kind of assume it's about her. So this is sort of about two songs, really. I have a verse from each song I'd kind of like to put on. I think we're going to do 2 pages because these pictures are kind of large. I purposely printed her sort of faded looking. The actual image is darker because I know you're concerned about that. There's also a 2-page thing somewhere back here that's just plain tan. But I don't know, right here. But if these leaves are becoming a problem, we can go to that. Okay, that's all I know. I almost didn't turn the camera on because I don't know what I'm doing with it. But I never do, right? Well, I want to put long, long time in big-ish letters. Okay. To my left, that you can't see, in a battered up box, I have letter and number paper. If none of that works, I could certainly handwrite, hand letter, or print something out. Well, that would match. I don't think it's very interesting. I do want to put the title of Charlie's song on there too, maybe by her. That's kind of cool. I bet all the letters aren't on there because it actually says words like sappy, or they'd be shappy. I'm kidding, it's happy. Love. Well, okay, we could piece that with another page. Let's see. Typewriter keys, I don't think so. Just plain black, no. Here's one that says words again. Memories. Well, maybe you could piece that with that other one. Okay. Blue, no. Numbers, no. More typewriter keys, no. Well, here's yet another one that says actual words. Okay, maybe with the other ones. I should be looking for numbers though too, right? Don't confuse her. She only do one thing at a time. Well, okay. hang on, we're getting towards the end. Okay, these are all numbers. There's another one of actual words. Okay, well, let's see what we can piece here. I obviously kind of want the title large-ish. Well, there's LO for long, right? And believe it or not, well, 1970, there's, you know, I was kind of young. I wasn't aware of this song back then. I'm known it as an adult. And we'll use that term sparingly. Well, there's a very large L. Part of a big one. Oh, there's a bigger one. The O. Well, is that too big? Well, you know what? Where else are you going to use this, Diane? I have no idea. It was a long, long time ago. We could use the T then, right? Or should we mix it up? All right, well, maybe we need to mix instead of keep pulling off that same page. There's an N on there and a G. But let's see what this is. That's a cute bird. I should pull it off and do something, right? Well, the N is kind of small. What else did I grab? Kind of small. This. Any N's? Any G's? Kind of small. That's not too bad. Kind of little. An M for time. I don't see another G. The other, no, it's the same style. Okay, that one's too small. Well, Diane. Well, that N's not really too bad. This paper is really old. Okay, well, even New Year's have the same old problems. Like when you're making a video and you're going on and on, revealing the secret of the universe and that kind of stuff, you don't realize that it stopped filming because your storage was full. I'm kidding. I did not give away the secret to the universe because I don't know. That's why I'm making these videos. But you missed probably a good 10 minutes, and I don't know what I said. This is a few hours later. So we're going to kind of pick it up. If I say something you don't understand, I'm sorry. If I repeat myself, I'm sorry. That's the way my life goes. All right, this I didn't make it because I had it here, and as I'm doing other stuff and you glance at it, it looks like an O. You don't really see the I, so it looks like a long, long tomb. Okay, goodbye. We have a new I. I don't think you saw. I picked out letters or numbers. I was going to just piece this with little alphabet I have over here, a couple like little letters. But believe it or not, the word forget was on one of my papers. So we kind of pieced together, and so was always. Okay, that's the title of Charlie's, that's the title of Linda's. I added, I wanted flowers. I decided, this is going very vintage looking. Well, why don't we put in some flowers from like the 70s? Can pull that in. Okay. Yeah, we moved it to the plain beige paper because the leafy stuff, as you can imagine, was getting too busy. That wasn't going to work. Okay. I had 2 lines from each song I wanted to put on here. I was thinking of just handwriting those. I don't know where. Nothing is glued down. Now my dilemma is the background too boring. Do we want more flowers? Do we, what? What, Diane? I don't know. Okay. So there, I kind of came on just to bring you up to speed. Well, it was so stupid. I don't know if they're all the same. My phone, when you delete something, it goes in the delete file. Okay, well, I don't see the delete file unless you pull it up. And apparently there was a lot of stuff in the delete file. There was like nothing on the new, what do they call that? Whatever it is, that you just filmed. So, yeah, I had no idea. And I guess when you've been making videos as long as I have, that's pretty inexcusable. Anyway, I don't remember if I talked about this. I have some hearts here that I was saying it's kind of hokey, but then again, the colors really match these flowers. But as I said in the beginning, I don't know how much there was on her end of, to necessitate a heart. That's hard to say. To deem a heart. We can put it on Charlie's side, maybe. Necessitate. There, she said it. Does anybody else do this? A new year rolls around, and you do, I don't make resolutions or that kind of thing, but you sort of think, I'm going to do X, Y, or Z, and be a better person, and all this other stuff, and it's just the same old stupid stuff. Am I right? I don't know. I guess I need to work on that, huh? Maybe a little hokey. Well, yeah, we'll see. I don't know if that's going to make it. Okay. If I write, I did think I could write some over her dress since it's so, light. But then on his side, I can't do that unless I use a white gel pen, and I don't think I really want that on this. And then you would have to carry over to black. Forget it. That's just not going to work. All right, tell you what, I'm going to pause and glue stuff down. I think that's safe. Because it had even crossed my mind to maybe put in text behind or something, do some schmutzy paint and stuff. But with all these letters, and little flowers and stuff, I think that's going to be too busy. Okay, I'm going to glue, and then we'll come back and figure something out. Something will work. I promise. Okay, hang on. Okay, the flowers are not glued. I typed out the lyrics on onion skin typing paper. I actually used it for what it was intended for. I don't know, that just came to me on a whim. So I think that should look kind of cool. These lyrics are from this song, these lyrics are from this song, and I think they go pretty well with what we're doing. It's kind of boring, right? I think we need paint, right? So the problem is we have to move this stuff, but I wanted you to see it. I still am not sure about that heart. And if I don't do the heart, I'm going to need a couple more flowers, I would think, down there. And yeah, you can find the lyrics to Charlie's song. He has, well, he, the Charlie Chaplin people, I forget what it's called. You know, it is an official group. They have a website, and it's on there. There is a picture of the sheet music cover, too. Oh, by the way, for the apostrophes, I had drawn one in. Well, I had one cut. It was kind of tight. I didn't cut it that great. I didn't like it. There wasn't a second one anyway. So I just drew them in. It was okay. I didn't think much of it. Those little diamond things were on one of those papers. So I went with that. It's a little different. Is it a kind way to say that, Diane? I think so. Okay. I don't know what color. We've got some orange, pinks, golds in the flowers. The pictures are all sepia. I don't even know how I want to paint. I don't think I want to drip because there's a lot of different angles going on here. So now if we have vertical dripping, I think that's going to be too many weird different lines and be confusing. So it's schmutzy paint, I think. Why did she grab neon pink? What is she doing? Well, I'm trying to, like I said, incorporate a 70s feel too with this. And if you hear a strange sound in the background, I forgot. It's one of my dogs playing with one of their new Christmas toys. It's the squeak thing. If it really goes on, I'll pause. Okay. Is that too much of a direction with these other lines that I had just mentioned? You know what, let's just put a paper right over her. I don't want to take a chance. Yeah, I wasn't thinking of this dumb spiral thing either. Well, it's not a spiral thing, it's a spiral, right? One nice thing about this paint, it is sort of translucent. So if you hit a little bit, it's not a big deal. Well, I like, this color edition is going to be good. I don't really like the way it looks exactly right now. This paper does not take paint too well. It's going to buckle, I can tell you that. Although I have painted quite a bit in these books. Alright, now we had a dog barking, so I paused. What about some orange? Pink and orange are very, to me, a very mod hippie color combination. Okay, that's much more interesting. You have to admit that. Whether you like it or not is another subject, right? And I hope I don't ruin it because I don't want to piece all this stuff again onto some other page. It will work. Okay. It's still kind of boring under the letters, words. Yeah, she's thinking. You're not doing anything. No, I am looking at it and thinking. I am doing. Um, what I'm thinking is, if I add these same colors here, it's going to pull those apart without, if it's not connected. This way it's connecting this area. So how do you remedy that? You either don't put this color over there or what? I could creep in a little from here. Let's try that. You almost went into the paint can instead of the water can, Diane. Sorry. We'll watch that. That's okay. I don't know that I want to do much more than that. I was going to buy a new neon pink that's getting down and I forgot. Okay. I wouldn't do that over here because that doesn't look right to me. You could maybe pull up a little from the bottom. Okay, we'll try that. Oh, their names, by the way, are just printed off my computer, and then I rubbed brown ink over it quite heavily, which I think that worked out pretty well. Linda and Charles. Okay. I'm sorry if you hear that squeaking, but it's a dog having a good time, so. Okay. Do we want any spattering? And if so, what color? I'm gonna do a brown. That was a big question mark. A brown. There's black spatters there. I don't think I would go that dark. Although it might pull that color in. This brown is fairly light-ish, well, like a medium brown. What do we think? Yeah, that's helpful. Be more helpful if paint would actually come off. Yeah. That's pretty good. All right, Hetty, you want some too? By the way, her real name was Florence Henrietta Kelly. Okay. What's it going to look like with the flowers? Yeah, that'll be okay. Okay, I'm not going to tinker with paint anymore at this time. Let's let this dry. Well, I take it back. Let's spatter just a little bit over there. It looks like I forgot. I'm going to let it dry, glue the flowers down. I'm not sure if I want a border or something. It's a little lacking to me on the edges. But we'll see. The flowers may help with that. I don't know. Okay. Maybe done when you come back. Hang on. Okay, folks. It's done. I put this heart in the junk book to make it look like a balloon with a not so hot shiny spot on it. Okay, because there's another balloon. Okay. So here. Is this what you were expecting? It's not really what I was expecting. I added a little more orange paint here. This was pretty, plain, the beige. And it's sort of, I don't know, it was too light, I think. So that helps that. I added these ring things just with a pen. I wanted to it needed something. If you go back and look, it really needed something. Just a square border is nice and safe, but kind of boring. It would have been kind of tight. There. And I thought, well, I could do a wavy border. I've done that several times. That would have been okay. But, there's negative space here. So for some reason, this crossed my mind, and that takes care of that. There's probably some people that don't like it. I think it's kind of cool, and it does accomplish what I wanted it to. I did add a little rubber stamping, a couple leaves. No, I did cut a couple more flowers for this area since I didn't use the heart. Okay. So I think it conveys the message. It's what I wanted, kind of with the 1970 colors and that, but, vintage pictures from this era. Okay. Okay, everybody. Thanks very much for watching. I'm sorry about that missing footage. You probably didn't miss a whole lot, but I know that's aggravating. I'm sorry. Anyway, I hope you have a nice day.